Unit 6. Test and Measurement in Sports. After completing the study of the unit, you will be able to perform SAI Khelo India Fitness Test in School, age group 5 to 8 years, class 1 to 3, BMI, Flamingo Balance Test, Plate Tapping Test, age group 9 to 18 years, class 4 to 12, BMI, 50-meter speed test, 600-meter run walk, sit and reach flexibility test, strength test, abdominal partial curl-up, push-ups for boys, modified push-ups for girls. Compute basal metabolic rate, BMR. Determine physical fitness index through Harvard Step Test Rockport test. Describe the procedure of Rickley and Jones Senior Citizen Fitness Test. And demonstrate Johnson-Metney test of motor educability. Sports. Sports Authority of India, SAI, has designed a test battery for the fitness assessment of school-going children. Khelo India program aims to revive the sports culture in India at the grassroots level. The score of the fitness test battery helps in monitoring the fitness results and health status of students. SAI Khelo India Fitness Test. Fitness defines the ability to perform physical activity and encompasses a wide range of abilities. Being fit for an activity does not mean you are fit for that activity or sport. The following pages will help you do the fitness test administration in your school more effectively using Khelo India's fitness assessment app. Battery of tests. Age group 5 to 8 years. Class 1 to 3. At primary class 1 to 3, children should acquire fundamental movement skills, FMS, leaving the learning of specific physical activities to later stages. FMS provide the building blocks for many physical activities, such as playing games, dance, and sport. Locomotor, manipulative, and body management abilities are key to success in most sports and physical activities. Abilities of children in class 1 to 3 which need to be measured and tracked are body composition, BMI, coordination, plate tapping, balance, flamingo balance, and which are important for controlling the body in various situations. Age group 9 to 18 years. Class 4 to 12. For class 4 to 12, it is important for students to have an overall physical fitness. The following components are to be considered in physical health and fitness profile. Body composition, BMI. Strength. A. Abdominal, partial curl-up. B. Muscular endurance, push-ups for boys, modified push-ups for girls. Flexibility, sit and reach test. Cardiovascular endurance, 600-meter run walk. Speed, 50-meter dash. Body mass index. What does it measure? Body composition refers primarily to the distribution of muscle and fat in the body. Body size such as height, lengths and girths are also grouped under this component. The test performed is body mass index, BMI, which is calculated from body weight, W, and height, H. BMI is equal to weight divided by height into height, where W is equal to body weight in kilograms and H is equal to height in meters. The higher the score, usually indicating higher levels of body fat. Infrastructure equipment required. Flat, clean surface, weighing machine, stadiometer or measuring tape pasted on a wall. Measuring height accurately. Remove the participant's shoes, bulky clothing, and hair ornaments, and unbraid hair that interferes with the measurement. Take the height measurement on flooring that is not carpeted and against a flat surface such as a wall with no molding. Have the participants stand with feet flat, together, and back against the wall. Make sure legs are straight, arms are at sides, and shoulders are level. Make sure the measurer's eyes are at the same level as the headpiece. Lightly mark where the bottom of the headpiece meets the wall. Then, use a metal tape to measure from the base on the floor to the marked measurement on the wall to get the height measurement. Accurately record the height to the nearest 0.1 centimeter. Measuring weight accurately. Use a digital scale. Avoid using bathroom scales that are spring-loaded. Place the scale on firm flooring, such as tile or wood, rather than carpet. Have the participant remove shoes and heavy clothing, such as sweaters. Have the participant stand with both feet in the center of the scale. Record the weight to the nearest decimal fraction, for example, 25.1 kilograms. Scoring. Height recorded in cm and mm. Weight will be recorded in kilogram, kg, and grams, GMS. Record the weight to the nearest decimal fraction, for example, 25.1 kilograms. Accurately record the height to the nearest 0.1 centimeter. Plate tapping test or coordination test. What does it measure? Test speed and coordination of limb movement. Infrastructure equipment required. Table adjustable height to yellow discs, 20 centimeters diameter, rectangle, 30 by 20 centimeters, stopwatch. How to perform? If possible, the table height should be adjusted so that the subject is standing comfortably in front of the discs. The two yellow discs are placed with their centers 60 centimeters apart on the table. The rectangle is placed equidistant between both discs. The non-preferred hand is placed on the rectangle. The subject moves the preferred hand back and forth between the discs over the hand in the middle as quickly as possible. This action is repeated for 25 full cycles, 50 taps. Administrative suggestion. Participants should be encouraged to stand in a balanced posture, feet apart to shoulder width. Results are usually better if the participant can maintain constant pace during most of the run. Scoring. The time taken to complete 25 cycles is recorded. Flamingo balance test. What does it measure? It measures ability to balance successfully on a single leg. This single leg balance test assesses the strength of the leg, pelvic, and trunk muscle as well as static balance. Infrastructure equipment required. Non-slippery even surface, stopwatch, can be done on just standing on beam. How to perform? Stand on the beam. Keep balance by holding the instructor's hand, if required to start. While balancing on the preferred leg, the free leg is flexed at the knee and the foot of this leg held close to the buttocks. Start the watch as the instructor lets go of the participant subject. Pause the stopwatch each time the subject loses balance, either by falling off the beam or letting go of the foot being held. Resume over, again timing until they lose balance. Count the number of falls in 60 seconds of balancing. If there are more than 15 falls in the first 30 seconds, the test is terminated. Administrative suggestion. Participants should be encouraged to eyes focused on stationary objects straight ahead. Scoring. The total number of falls or loss of balance in 60 seconds of balancing is recorded. If there are more than 15 falls in the first 30 seconds, the test is terminated. Partial curl up, 30 seconds. What does it measure? The curl-up test measures abdominal muscular strength and endurance of the abdominals and hip flexors, important in back support and core stability. Infrastructure equipment required. Flat clean cushioned surface with two parallel strips, 6 inches apart, stopwatch, recording sheets, pen. How to perform? The subject lies on a cushioned, flat, clean surface with knees flexed, usually at 90 degrees, with hands straight on the sides, palms facing downwards, closer to the ground, parallel to the body. The subject raises the trunk in a smooth motion, keeping the arms in position, curling up the desired amount, at least 6 inches above along the ground towards the parallel strip. The trunk is lowered back to the floor so that the shoulder blades or upper back touch the floor. Administrative suggestion. Participants should be encouraged to keep normal breathing rate. Results are usually better if the participant can maintain constant pace during the activity. Scoring. Record the number of correctly completed push-ups. Sit and reach. What does it measure? Common measure of flexibility, and specifically measures the flexibility of the lower back and hamstring muscles. This test is important because tightness in this area is implicated in lumbar lordosis, forward pelvic tilt, and lower back pain. Infrastructure equipment required. Sit and reach box with the following dimensions: 12 by 12, sides, 12 by 10, front and back, 12 by 21, top. Inscribe the top panel with centimeter mm gradations. Flat clean cushioned surface gym mats. How to perform? This test involves sitting on the floor with legs stretched out straight ahead. The soles of the feet are placed flat against the sit and reach box. Both knees should be locked and pressed flat to the floor. The tester may assist by holding them down. With the palms facing downwards and the hands on top of each other, the subject reaches forward along the measuring line as far as possible. After some practice reaches, the subject reaches out and holds that position for at 1 to 2 seconds while the distance is recorded. Administrative suggestion. Warm-up and static stretching of the lower back and posterior thighs is very important for this test. A partner placing his/her hands lightly across knees can prevent the flexing of knees. Besides, in order to prevent the test apparatus from sliding away from the participants during the test, it should be placed against a wall or immovable object. The test trial is repeated if 1. The hands reach out unevenly, or 2. The knees are flexed at the time of doing the test. Scoring. The score is recorded, difference between initial position and final position, in cm and mm, as the distance reached by the hand. Run or walk. What does it measure? Cardiovascular fitness, cardiovascular endurance. Infrastructure equipment required. Stopwatch, whistle, marker cone, lime powder, measuring tape, 200 or 400 meters with 1.2 meters, minimum 1 meter, width preferably on a flat and even playground with a marking of starting and finish line. How to perform? Participants are instructed to run 600 meters in the fastest possible pace. The participants begin on signal, ready, start. As they cross the finish line. Elapsed time should be announced to the participants. Walking is permitted, but the objective is to cover the distance in the shortest possible time. Administrative suggestion. Participants should be encouraged to practice running with emphasis placed on the concept of pace. Results are usually better if the participant can maintain constant pace during most of the run and perhaps using a strong closing effort. 1. The hands reach out unevenly, or 2. The knees are flexed at the time of doing the test. Scoring. Time taken for completion, run or walk, in minute, second. 50-meter dash or standing start. What does it measure? Determines acceleration and speed. Infrastructure equipment required. Stopwatch, whistle, marker cone, lime powder, measuring tape, 200 or 400 meters with 1.2 meters, minimum 1 meter, with preferably on a flat and even playground with a marking of starting and finish line. How to perform? A thorough warm-up should be given, including some practice starts and accelerations. Start from a stationary position, with one foot in front of the other. The front foot must be on or behind the starting line. This starting position should be static, dead start. The tester should provide hints for maximizing speed, such as keeping low, driving hard with the arms and legs, and encouraged to continue running hard through the finish line. Administrative suggestion. Participants should be encouraged to practice running with emphasis placed on the concept of pace. Results are usually better if the participant can maintain constant pace during most of the run and perhaps using a strong closing effort. Scoring. Time taken for completion, run or walk, in minute, second, Measurement of cardiovascular fitness. Cardiovascular fitness is the ability to supply oxygenated blood to the muscular tissues working in the body and lungs, and ability to use oxygen to generate energy for various activities by muscles. Such fitness is very important for performing physical activities or aerobic actions. The following tests are done to measure cardiovascular conformation. Harvard Step Test. This is a cardiovascular fitness test which measures the ability of heart and lung muscles. It was developed by Bruha and others in 1943. The main purpose of this test is to examine the rate of retrieval of the candidate and his cardiovascular aerobic fitness. Essential equipment. 20 inches, 45 centimeters high, for bench or box men boys, 16-inch bench or stool for girls women, a metronome, stopwatch, assistant. Procedure of Harvard Step Test. The athlete steps up and down on the platform at a rate of 30 steps per minute, every 2 seconds, for 5 minutes or until exhaustion. Exhaustion is defined as when the athlete cannot maintain the stepping rate for 15 seconds. The athlete immediately sits down on completion of the test, and the total numbers of heartbeats are counted between 1 to 1.5 minutes after finishing. See measuring heart rate. This is the only measure required if using the short form of the test. If the long form of the test is being conducted, there is an additional heart rate measures at between 2 to 2.5 minutes and between 3 to 3.5 minutes. Scoring of Harvard Step Test. The fitness index score is determined by the following. Fitness index, short form. 100x test duration in seconds, divided by 5.5x pulse count between 1 and 1.5 minutes. Fitness index, long form. 100x test duration in seconds, divided by 2x sum of heartbeats in the recovery periods. Note, you are using the total number of heartbeats in the 30-second period, not the rate, beats per minute, during that time. Computing basal metabolic rate or BMR. Basal metabolic rate is the amount of energy a human body uses when it is completely at rest. It's the amount of energy body needs to support its vital functions, breathing, blood circulation, controlling body temperature, brain and nerve functions, etc. There are various methods to measure BMR. Harris-Benedict equation was earliest equation introduced in 1918 and 1919. It is widely used equation to measure basal metabolic rate. It is one of the easiest method to calculate BMR of an individual or senior citizen fitness test. In the year 2001, Rickley and Jones had developed the test method which proved to be extremely beneficial for senior citizens. With this test, those people can be identified those have health or fitness risks. This test is also helpful in planning effective and safe exercise programs for the senior people. The senior citizen fitness tests include the following tests. Chair stand test. Purpose of the test. The main purpose of this test is to measure the strength of the lower part of the body of the senior citizens, especially the feet, because they need special strength to sit and climb stairs during their daily activities. Required equipment. Straight back chair approximately 44 centimeters high and a stopwatch, stop clock. Procedure. In this process, the chair should be placed against the wall. The participant should sit in the middle of the chair so that the chair does not slip and the feet should remain on the flat floor about shoulders with both hands should be crossed near chest in shape of X. As soon as the instructions for getting up from the chair given the trial starts and the person should stand upright and sit again in the same state. This exercise should be repeated for 30 seconds. The number of the stand completed, stand and sit, during the 30-second period is considered as a person's score. Arm curl test. Purpose of the test. This test makes it easy to assess or measure the power and tolerance of the upper part of the subject. Equipment required. 5. Procedure. In this test, it is necessary to do arm curl for maximum of 30 seconds. This side folding test is done with strong arm, dominant arm. When the participant sits on the chair and holds the load in the lower hand, holding a suitcase-like hold, at this time the upper part of the arm should remain stable, while the lower part of the arm should move freely. When the side goes up to its fullest extent, the examinee should gradually come back to the starting state. Chair sit and reach test. Purpose of the test. This test evaluates the flexibility of the lower part of the body of the subject for the right posture, normal tread pattern, and various dynamics-related tasks like sitting in the bathtub or car important for getting up and coming out. Equipment required. Scale and a chair with approximately 44 centimeters high seat and straight back. Procedure. The subject sits on the edge of a chair, placed against a wall for safety. Instruct the subject to inhale, and then as they exhale, reach forward towards the toes by bending at the hip. The distance is measured between the tip of the chair sit and reach test for lower body flexibility fingertips and the toes. If the fingertips touch the toes, then the score is 0. If they do not touch, measure the distance between the fingers and the toes, a negative score. If they overlap, measure by how much, a positive score. Back stretch test for upper body flexibility. Purpose of the test. The back scratch test measure flexibility of your upper body. Upper body's flexibility affects your ability to reach for items that may be high on a shelf, change a light bulb, or do any activity that requires arm and or shoulder movement. Procedure. A subject should take standing position. Place your right hand behind your back with your palm out and your fingers extended up. Take 2 practice stretches with each 8 foot up and go test for agility. Purpose of the test. The 8 foot up and go is a coordination and agility test for the elderly, which is a part of the senior fitness test. This test measures speed, agility and balance while moving. Equipments required. Stopwatch, straight back or folding chair, about 17 inches by 44 centimeters high, 1 marker, measuring tape, area clear of obstacles. Procedure. Place the chair next to a wall, for safety, and the marker 8 feet of the chair. Clear the path between the chair and the marker. The subject starts fully seated, hands resting on the knees and feet flat on the ground. On the command, go, timing is started and the subject stands and walks, no running, as quickly as possible, and safely, to and around the cone, returning to the chair to sit down. Timing stops as they sit down. 6-minute walk test for aerobic endurance. Purpose of the test. To assess aerobic fitness or aerobic endurance, which is important for walking distances, stair climbing, shopping and sightseeing, etc. Equipment required. Stopwatch, measuring tape, rectangular ground measuring 20 by 5 yards. Procedure. For this test, a rectangular area, 45.72 meter by 4.57 meter, of 50 yards or 45.72 meter is marked. Cones are placed at regular intervals in this area. The test taker has to walk 6 minutes on the marked path. During the 6-minute period, the total distance covered by the examinee is noted. The norms for this test are different for different age groups and gender. Johansen-Maitne test of motor educability, front roll, roll, jumping half turn, jumping full turn. Johnson-Matheny test battery is revised version of Johnson educability test which was designed in 1932. The purpose of the Johnson battery was to measure neuromuscular skill capacity, which have 10 items. In 1938, Maitne studied the test and eliminated 6 items. The test battery consists of 4 motor stunts are given below. 1. Front roll. 2. Back roll. 3. Jumping half turns. And 4. Jumping full turns. 4 stunts are to be performed by the boys and 3 stunts for girls. Test area. Mat area length is 15 feet and it is 2 feet wide. The 15 feet length divided into 10 sections for 18 each. The width of transverse line is 3/4 and 3 alternatively. Center of lines remains 18 apart. Another 3/4 wide line is marked lengthwise in the middle of the mat area. Procedure. Front roll. Ignoring the long middle dividing line, the subject is asked to start outside the marked area and perform 2 front rolls, one up to 7.5 high 3 wide center line and the second in the other half of 7.5. The subject is to perform the rolls without touching the limits or overreaching the zones mentioned above. Scoring. Each correct roll gets 5 points, hence maximum of 10 points. 2 points are deducted for overreaching sideline, right or left for each roll. 1 point is deducted for overreaching the end limit on each roll and full 5 points are deducted when the subject fails to perform a true front roll. Back roll. The test is similar to front roll both in performing and scoring. The subject is to start outside the marked chart area and is to perform 2 back rolls in the 2 feet lane area, one up to first half and the second back roll in the second half. Jumping half turns. The subject is asked to start with feet on first 3 line, jump with both feet to second 3 wide line, executing a half turn either right or left, jump to third 3 line executing half turn in opposite direction to first half turn, and then to fourth and fifth 3 wide lines executing half turns, right or left alternatively. Scoring, perfect execution of 4 jumps, is worth 10 points. Only 2 points are deducted for each wrong jump when the subject either does not land with both feet on the 3 line or turns the wrong way or both. Jumping full turns. The subject is asked to start with the feet outside the marked area at about the center of the lane. She is required to jump with feet together to second rectangular space, executing a full turn with the body either right or left. Continue jumping to alternate rectangular spaces across the marked mat executing full turns, rotating body in the same direction, landing on both feet every time. Scoring, perfect execution of 5 jumps, is worth 10 points. 2 points are deducted if the subject fails to keep balance on landing on both feet, turns too far or oversteps the squares.